So we shall contact Rani on Osnus.
Yes, I am Rani.
Greetings. Greetings, Rani.
Very, very honored I am to have you come in almost unexpected manner.
Well, I just thought we'd stop by and see how you are getting along, and if there's any way or need for another little push that we can give to you.
It is the way of spirit that you should know of my need. I have just become aware of the karma that I have made for myself by the actions that I have been solely responsible for these past hundreds of years, or many hundreds of years.
Yes.
And had not given much concern, or had not even objectified my past on this planet. I was so taken up and so rejuvenated and so brought back to the reality of life that I could only think of the application of the science of the infinite, of Unarius, to the peoples here. But I have somehow or other, while studying and applying these principles in a projection that I have recently completed, had a visible, startled realization that it is not a simple matter to redo or readdress the wrong that I have so done. So that has put me into a position of remorse. And I understand that this is not to be, but that it should be recognition, and then to go ahead with positive steps. But such as it is, this has happened just recently, not within the last hour.
Yes.
So I am not surprised, but I do know the powers that reside within you and your great intelligence that knows all.
Don't forget, we always have a lens to call on, you know. We don't. We have this wonderful lens to put us in touch with those who needs our help.
Yes, truly so, but I had not thought of using the lens for my own needs.
I'm speaking of from the other way. I too can use the lens to call on those who are in special need.
Yes,
This
of
wonderful
course.
lens can be put to use in many purposes.
I didn't know that.
But I am so happy that we came at the right time whereby we could add a little push. And I'm sure before we leave this contact, you will be feeling better. Now, first of all, what you have done is the first step, recognition and regret for past actions is a first step. We must take a good look in that mirror of our past before we can take the step out of get our foot out of the mud and move forward. This is a very first, and you are most wise. Now, of course, it is even wiser that we do not permit ourselves to maintain any length of time in this particular negative state. For when you understand truly how man is either oscillating, how he's oscillating positively or negatively, the bias is either from the past or toward the future, that you would not permit not one moment to become negative. What do you think would happen to all of the work and all of the planets and the brotherhood were I to become emotionally involved? What do you think? The bottom would fall out of everything. So you see, we must learn to direct our thoughts and cannot be victims of our past any longer. Once we have learned these vital, life-changing principles, we must use them and put them into effect. And right now, you must learn to direct your thoughts. May I tell you the way that I have learned to get myself out of any negative oscillation in the many, many years of the past? I'm not talking about the present, for I have not been personally involved in emotional attributes for quite some time. This is what I would do. When any negative appearance would make itself known upon the surface of my life or consciousness, I would immediately become involved in some other positive expression, no matter how slight, but change quickly and do something positive, no matter what it is. I can remember when I was a very young girl and negative situations would confront me, I would quickly jump to the fore and get involved in some positive expression, some new cycle. This way you set new cycles in action, and you quickly change the bias. Now this is the most important concept of changing your bias that you could ever experience. You see, when we are thinking negatively, your whole psychic anatomy oscillates in a negative way, and you lose more ground than you could gain in many years or even lifetimes. You can't afford to be negative, dear Rani. You can't afford it for your own benefit. And if you are not oscillating at a top peak or top pitch or high frequency, you cannot be of help to your brotherhood or your people, for they feel your vibrations and will likewise oscillate. So it is up to you to keep yourself up on this very top rung of the ladder by being in tune with the infinite, by being consciously aware and practicing at all times the principle. Now, let the past be in the past. Don't ever again enter into that in a remorseful way. You know it has been done, and your recognition has unlocked it. Now, do not again permit yourself to oscillate with that past negation. Promise?
Yes, it is a promise.
Okay.